Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a local organization helping to feed families in need sees a growing trend as the shutdown continues. Plus, early voting is going on today and tomorrow. We take a look at how many votes have been cast so far, and what you need to know about stray dogs and local efforts to manage them.
And this morning, you may have stepped your foot out the door for a moment and came right back inside because you noticed it's a little bit chilly. Well, we got some more cool chilly mornings on the way, but also another day of fire danger. All about the weather coming up.
And Ganado is ready to clinch or win the district title outright tomorrow night versus Bloomington. We'll give you the full game preview later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads. Welcome to your Thursday morning.
We're just a day away from Halloween.
That's right, and I didn't even carve a pumpkin yesterday.
Oh.
So I don't know. I might miss my window on that.
It was a little bit of a windy one yesterday, so I would imagine some people were probably not outside because that wind probably blew you over. But today we're not looking at too much of a wind, but we are looking at a bit of a chilly one out there this morning. If you're tuning in with us, take a look at the temperature out there right now. Look at live in Victoria. It is 40 flat right now. This is the first time we've seen the 40s since like February or March. But one thing I do want to point out before we move on, you see right here in the bottom right hand of the corner of your screen, this is our 25 News Now ticker. It shows on right here, it says 46 degrees. That is the thermometer outside the station. So in the city limits, it's actually a little bit warmer than what's outside the city limits of the county. 39 is what's being reported at the airport, but everyone else is going to be looking at about the same thing. Temperature starting out the day in low mid 40s, even some 40s on the coast this morning. Y'all are sinking into the 40s as well. So bundle up this morning. And if you think that's cool, look at North Texas. They were freezing earlier in the Panhandle and Amarillo, but right now we do still have that northwesterly wind with us. It's much calmer than yesterday. You'll notice it's 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's bringing us wind chills this morning. If the 40s isn't enough to put a jacket on you, how about wind chills in the 30s? Right now, outside in the county, it feels like 34 degrees with those 5 to 10 mile an hour winds. So get used to it because I think it's fall time. You can see also with those winds, it's going to be bringing us another day of fire danger with red flag warnings in effect for those counties. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning, those winds will also bring us some sunny skies and a beautiful day. We'll look at those details next.
High winds fueled at a fire in the Dang Vang Cotton Module Yard in Wharton County Wednesday. The burn modules have been separated and don't pose a risk to the rest of the yard or nearby structures. Volunteer fire departments responded quickly to get the flames under control. Officials are asking the public to stay away from the area while crews monitor the scene. With SNAP benefits running out, more people are looking for help to keep food on the table. At Rushing Wind Fellowship in Victoria, Bishop Mike Swearingen says the impact is already clear. In just the past week, about 95 new families have turned to them for help. He says the demand isn't just numbers, it's real people struggling to feed their loved ones. Local groups are working overtime to make sure no one goes hungry.
So far, there's been a 245 people that we've served in those 94 families. That's an average of about 123 a day.
Bishop Swearingen says a current food shortage has Rushing Wind Fellowship cutting back distribution. The pantry is at 1009 North Laurent, near the HEB on Rio Grande. With just 2 days left of early voting, 3.7% of Victoria County's registered voters have cast their ballot. On the ballot are 17 propositions of proposed amendments to the state constitution. On the ballot locally is a civil service agreement and collective bargaining proposition for the city of Victoria, as well as a proposed sales tax in Bloomington. Early voting continues. Polls are open today and Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 8 to 5 at the Bloomington Volunteer Fire Department. Election day is Tuesday. After impounding 11 dogs on Tuesday, the Victoria County Animal Services is again experiencing full kennels. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley spoke with the Victoria County Animal Services to understand how they're trying to tackle the issue.
The reason we're full all the time isn't because we have bite dogs or because we have, normally have packs of roaming dogs. We are always full because people keep letting their dogs run loose.
Victoria County Animal Services say they hold more than 50 dogs daily with 60 kennels available. Director of Victoria County Animal Services, Mark Sloat, says he typically holds stray dogs for 5 days before someone comes to adopt them. Sloat reminds dog owners to keep their dog tethered or confined to a yard, or it'll be considered a loose dog.
It keeps their dogs safe. We pick up dead animals too, and we want people to be able to walk around Victoria or ride their bikes around Victoria, the children, anybody, and not worry about loose dogs chasing them. That shouldn't be an issue.
Sloat says VCAS does not pick and choose which kind of dogs they take in, and sometimes it's a struggle to make room for the dogs they do receive. To try and lessen the issue, Sloat is planning to move into a new facility in the city where he'll have more than 90 kennels available. He says most of the calls come from the city of Victoria directly, and people will be able to pick up their dog much quicker. Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Hurricane Melissa unleashed devastation in Jamaica as the strongest storm on record to ever hit the Caribbean island nation. The record-breaking storm hit western Jamaica, demolishing homes, knocking out trees, and washing out several roadways. Authorities report at least 8 people are dead in Jamaica, 25 are dead in Haiti, and several are still missing across the islands. Meanwhile, no fatalities were reported in Cuba after major evacuation orders were given. Later on, meteorologist Parker Cox will tell us more about Melissa. And remember to follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. It's now, let's take a look, it's 6:37 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Find out what Parker discovered at the South Texas Farm and Ranch Show.
Overnight, President Trump meeting with China's president to finalize a trade deal between the two countries. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details on the high-stakes meeting.
And as you can see right here on the screen, 11 out of 13 Crossroads counties are now under a burn ban. So coming up next in the short-term forecast, I'll tell you just how dry I think it's going to be near you today.
It's a conversation many avoid, but one community is breaking the silence. The fight against HIV isn't just medical, it's personal.
We want to make sure that we ask the correct questions so we are able to understand who potentially could have a reason rather than a risk. I think that's a softer way to talk about testing for HIV or for PrEP.
Join Carolina Estrain for Ending HIV on 25 News Now Extra, Thursday night at 10.
Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Thursday, Friday Eve, I like to call it, because Friday and Halloween are right around the corner, and the same with the weekend. Now, I'm sure a lot of y'all are waking up this morning. You may have stepped your foot out the door for a moment, and first thing you said is, wow, it's kind of chilly out there. But another thing you may have noticed is it's also pretty dry out there with our temperatures still pretty far from the dew point. We're looking at humidity right now somewhere between 30 to 50% for the entire area. But I want to let y'all know that that humidity that's out there right now, it's going to plummet again. Going into the afternoon time, we're looking for humidity values ranging as low as 15 to 25% around the entire Crossroads area, possibly as low as 30% for on the coast, because you're right next to the more humid Gulf water. Now, that's going to allow for another round of fire danger for today, Thursday, and possibly again tomorrow, Friday, because we're expecting some more dry weather, but I don't know if it's going to be as dry as it is today, because today we're going to have a little bit more of a northwesterly wind. Definitely not as breezy as it was yesterday, Wednesday, and that's exactly why we do not have an alert day in effect for today. Just make sure you're not burning anything, because first of all, we have burn ban in effect for pretty much all of our counties, as you just saw a second ago. And well, you don't want to be burning anything at all, because the dry air will make it burn faster and much more vibrant, that's for sure. But winds you can see today gusting only up to about 10 to 15 miles an hour at times. There might be a 20 mile an hour gust that tries sneaking in there, but today we're going to be looking much better than yesterday. Yesterday we had a maximum wind gust of 40 miles an hour reported, at Victoria Airport, which is right on the money for what I was forecasting. But with those winds bringing in some dry air all day long, all the way for the rest of this weekend as well, all the way into next week actually, you can see this whole time I've been pressing play on your future tracker. Did you see any clouds? Nope. That means it's going to be sunny to heat us up to about 74 in Victoria, which is 60 degrees below where we're supposed to be. Everyone else is going to be looking about the same thing with highs in the 70s, and we're going to be looking just like that for the next several days. And we'll look at all that next.
We're keeping our previews going as tomorrow night in 2A Division I, the Ganado Indians at 7-1 are rolling through district and looking not to get spooked by Bloomington Bobcats there on Halloween. And Ganado is currently 4-0 in district and could at least have a chance to clinch a share of the district title versus the Bobcats as Weimar faces Latonia, where the Wildcats are 3-1. But if Weimar loses to Latonia, Ganado will actually win the outright title if they could beat Bloomington there Friday night. And again, they have their top stars in Landon Arriaga, Austin Pena, Logan Burrs, Cade Nixon on the defensive side, Jack Hurt as well. For Bloomington, their chances of being playoff contention there ended there a couple weeks ago. And they're going to have their last game being played on Friday night. So nothing to lose there for the Bobcats here in this matchup as the Gardner brothers and Aiden Amari look to make some explosive plays for Bloomington in order to get the victory. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
This morning, President Trump is traveling back to Washington after his high-stakes meeting with the Chinese president. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington as the president is hoping to finalize the trade deal and avoid a costly trade war.
This morning, President Trump headed back to Washington after meeting with China's President Xi Jinping for their first face-to-face meeting since 2019.
We have a deal. Now, every year we'll renegotiate the deal. But I think the deal will go on for a long time, long beyond the year. We'll negotiate at the end of the year. But all of the rare earth has been settled, and that's for the world.
The president announcing the effective rate of tariffs on China has been lowered by 10%, from 57% down to now 47%. On the table, everything from tariffs to fentanyl to ending the Chinese boycott of American soybeans that has pushed some American farmers towards bankruptcy. It would also loosen restrictions on China's sale of rare earth minerals critical for making smartphones and cars. Before the meeting, President Xi talking about their ongoing relationship.
Mr. President, I'm ready to continue working with you to build a solid foundation for China-U.S. relations and create a sound atmosphere for the development of both countries.
Trump also making news just before the meeting was set to start, posting on his social media platform that he had ordered the Pentagon to resume nuclear testing, quote, because of other countries' testing programs. It's a move that would reverse decades of nuclear policy in the U.S. But on Air Force One after the meeting, Trump denied that his announcement was pointed at China. When pressed, he would not get specific about who the other countries were. The president had also hoped to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on this trip, but he did not publicly acknowledge Trump's invitation to meet. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
25 News Now Sunrise meteorologist Parker Cox was at the South Texas Farm and Ranch Show Wednesday morning. The event connects farmers, ranchers, agribusiness professionals, and the public with the latest industry advances. The South Texas Farm and Ranch Show Committee and the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Office supports agricultural education with $19,000 in scholarships annually. If you missed Parker yesterday, you can catch him today from 10 to noon. If you have a birthday, a military hero, or an athlete of the week to submit, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com, to share it with us. It's 6:45 on our Thursday morning. Still ahead, a lost pet's incredible journey, how one family almost gave up hope. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Aaliyah. Happy 11th birthday to my one and only baby girl that God blessed me with. I hope you get everything you wish for on your special day. We love you to the moon and back.
That's right. Happy birthday, Aaliyah, and also happy 17th birthday to Brooklyn. Happy birthday, BB. We love you.
Happy birthday to Majesty. Happy 3rd birthday. We love you.
Happy birthday, Majesty. And also happy birthday to Melanie. Happy 1st birthday. We love you. Look at that sweet picture.
And happy birthday to Taylin. Happy 6th birthday, Taylin. We love you and hope your day is full of happiness.
That's right. Happy birthday, Taylin, and also happy birthday to Jace. Happy 13th birthday to Jace Pena. We love you so much. Have a great day.
Happy birthday to Jacqueline. Happy 17th birthday. We love you from Mom, Dad, and brothers.
Happy birthday, Jacqueline, and also happy birthday to Elijah. Happy 16th birthday, son. Keep being the amazing young man you are. We love you. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the home tab, and then you'll see submit your birthday photo.
Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you probably saw exactly what I was talking about. How I hope you enjoy the weather for today, because it's going to be looking pretty nice for the next several days, y'all. At least I think so. This weather is, in my opinion, near perfect weather. Highs in the upper 70s, low 80s, lows starting out the day in the 50s. That's like near perfect if you ask me, with a light breeze out there as well. As you can see, we're looking at exactly that weather. Upper 70s, a few days sneaking in the forecast in the low 80s. That's thanks to that beaming Texas sun, but it will stay in the low 80s instead of warming to the mid and upper 80s because of this cool front that'll be here on Saturday. That's going to be nothing in comparison to the one that we had Monday night, Tuesday night, whenever it got here. It's going to be nothing like that one, but it will bring us a rain chance. Also, unlike the last one, well, actually the last one brought us a good round of thunderstorm for the coast, but this chance is going to be at 30% for the evening time Saturday night. So not looking at too much for the daytime, and probably not looking at too much in terms of total rainfall. So, you know, don't get that excited for it, because it's not going to be that much, unfortunately. But it is going to be enough for us to see a front, because we want to see more lovely fall weather. That'll come off of this low pressure system coming out of Canada, sinking south going into the weekend. And then we're going to track another low system coming out of the Pacific as we go into next week, because I think that one right there will bring us our next cold front. And there is good news to these systems coming out of the Pacific. First of all, it brings us cooler weather, but second of all, it'll keep us safe from the tropics, to which we're still tracking Hurricane Melissa, a strong Category 2. And we're going to look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
Earlier this week, we shared the story of Eddie, the cat who went missing at a hotel while his owner was traveling. On Wednesday, Eddie was reunited with his owner, who calls him his companion. Randy Wallace in Houston has more on Eddie's long-awaited return home.
This cat's name is Eddie. He might not have 9 lives, but he's got quite the tale to tell. It starts in a motel room on June 1st in Erie, Pennsylvania.
There was a hole in the wall right above his litter box.
That's how Eddie got out.
It's traumatic for me, but it's nowhere near as traumatic for him. He's been a house cat most of his life, so it was a shock to me to find out that he did survive as long as he did outside.
His owner, Eric Allen, had to stop looking for Eddie. He was in the process of moving to El Campo. A family in Erie found Eddie in late September.
They were on their way from Erie to Niagara Falls. The kids spotted Eddie loose at a gas station truck stop.
Eddie ended up at the Erie Humane Society.
We do scan for microchips. So that's the big thing about microchipping your pets, because things like this happen when they have the microchips, and you can link the owners to the pets.
I only had 5 days to get him. I called right away. There was no way to get from here to there in 5 days.
With community donations, Brian Carroll and Eddie spent 3 days making the 22-hour drive from Erie to Houston.
Just outside of Cincinnati. Our next stop is Memphis, Tennessee, on our way to Houston, Texas, to reunite Eddie with his family. He just never thought that this was a possibility. He thought Eddie was gone, he'd never see Eddie again. In a few more hours, we're going to reunite Eddie and Eric. Eddie was great. He's quiet. He's a good companion. He probably had to put up with a little bit of my singing in the car.
Honestly, have much hope, because my life hasn't really been super fortunate.
Now Eddie is back where he belongs, with Eric.
I'm probably going to break down crying. A lot more extra emotions attached to him besides being my companion.
Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
If you see news happening, let us know. Call the number on your screen or email us your tips at staff@crossroadstoday.com. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A major piece still missing in a critical investigation. Stay tuned. Another update on the investigation into the Louvre heist. The Paris prosecutor told French radio 5 new suspects have been arrested in connection to the robbery. The arrest took place Wednesday night in Paris. The crown jewels have not been found yet. Sean Grayson has been found guilty of murder in the death of Sonia Massey. Grayson was on trial in the 2024 killing of Massey, a black mother of 2 who had called 911 about a possible prowler. A jury found him guilty of second-degree murder. Jurors deliberated for about 11 hours after closing arguments ended late Tuesday morning. Grayson faces 4 to 20 years in prison. A federal trial is underway that could decide the future of National Guard troop deployment in Oregon. The DOJ attorney Jean Lynn says troops were on scene at the ICE facility until the early morning hours on October 5th, one day after the U.S. District Judge in the case had issued a temporary restraining order. The judge Wednesday brought up whether that equates to contempt, a matter she said would be discussed later. Senate lawmakers passed a bipartisan resolution to block the president's tariffs on Canada. The resolution passed by a vote of 50 to 46 after Democrats used a legislative tool to force the floor vote without consent from the Republican majority. The vote needed only a simple majority for passage. So far, the measure has not advanced in the House, and it's very unlikely to be brought up this year. We want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our sunrise with Parker.
Thanks, Carolina. Good morning, Crossroaders. We are starting out the day mighty chilly out there this morning. Don't believe me? First of all, look at our beautiful sunrise out there, but the sunrise is mighty clear. That's allowing for radiational cooling to take place. That's what it's called in the meteorology world. And we're starting out the day in the 30s. Yes, the 30s. At least in the county. But if you look really closely in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, you see the temperature right here on our 25 News Now ticker. It says it's 46 degrees right there. That's going to be the temperature in the city limits because we have a thermometer placed right outside the station. But look at this, y'all. If that 39 is not cold enough, if you live out in county, look at the winds. 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the northwest, bringing us wind chills near freezing. Actually, I just checked a second ago. It is below freezing. It was 31 degrees. It's a bit chilly out there. You can see everyone looking a bit cool this morning. Lots of 40s out there, but some of us are still trying to sneak into the upper 30s this morning. We also have some upper 40s and low 50s on the coast because you're right next to that warm Gulf water. But for today, we're looking for a beautiful day. So get out there and enjoy it after the sun comes up. Looking for a high of about 73 in Port Lavaca, upper 60s at noontime. And a little bit warmer in Victoria, 74 with the high. About the same thing at noon, and also about the same in Cuero, 74 for today's high. So y'all get out there and enjoy it. Pack the sunglasses. It'll be mighty sunny out there, and it'll be sunny all the way into next week to bring us some more lovely fall weather.
Thank you for being with us this morning. Join Shaunadan, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.